Hello fellow potatoes, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Flay and today we're going to do another sort of a special little video. A little bit more different, yes, but we're going to go back to the Weiss Schwarz stuff. And an idea that occurred to me when I was playing the game, Weiss Schwarz. What if the guy, the Climaxes, got new triggers? I know the last trigger that we got that was new was Choice was the newest one for yellow, but what about green, what about red, what about blue? What if they all got new ones? So that's what this video is about. Going off of yellow, I know yellow has what, wind trigger, shot trigger. I mean, they all have the two souls, but the yellow has the brand new choice trigger. Red, we have door and standby. Standby is the other one for red. And then for blue, again, two soul. Then we have pants. And then book, the draw one. And then going for green, which in my opinion, green needs more support, better triggers. It has gold bar, which is the best one out of them all for green. The two soul, obviously. And then there's bag, which I think is the worst. But yeah, let's just start over for a little bit here. What if they all got new ones? So I kind of did some brainstorming and I thought of a few. So going by green first of all, because I think that one needs the most help and support. I call this one Clover. So obviously I'm going to use these are all fake cards, these are all custom. And we can call it Clover, we can call it Charm. Well, before we go into a little bit more nitty-gritty details, I decided to do the usual, the 1k1, so the 1 soul, the 1000 power for all of them, so they have all that on play type of ability. So nothing would change from there, but then the triggers is where I change things up. So yeah, with Clover, Charm, whatever you want to call it, I think either or is fine. It's nice, nice and short, gets to the point. So if when this card triggers, you may put the top card of your clock into the way to put this card in the memory, and return it to your hand at the beginning of your draw phase. So what do you guys think? Is that too OP or is that fine? Because like, let's just say you're attacking, right? That's pretty much the only way you can trigger it unless you're doing standby. But you're attacking. It's a green deck, obviously. You trigger this, right? You obviously have a card at least in your clock, and you choose to heal. I don't know if we should make it automatically that you have to do it. I think gold bar, you must do this. It's trigger if you trigger it. But for this, I don't know. I was debating if you should have to do this when it's triggered, or is it more like an option, kind of like with choice, given the name and such. But you know what I mean. So yeah, back to the short example. 1 damage at least in your clock. You choose to heal it, and then you manage this climax pretty much for a turn. It will come back to you before you draw, beginning of your draw phase. So you basically will draw. You basically grab this back to your hand, right? Then you do your draw phase. You draw 1 card. That's a must. And then there's the clock phase, which is optional. But if you do that, that means you have 4 cards back in the hand, which I know it's not ideal for green, but a green. That's what I'm saying. The green climaxes need this sort of buff to make this to make them work a little bit more, right? Because bag is just so yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? Is that too OP? Should it just heal you and it should just go to stock, or is memory fine and it comes back? So it's not like you're losing the climax entirely, you're just losing it for that turn. So that's why I was debating going back to the choice of when you trigger this climax, should it even go to memory? Should it just go back to your hand maybe? Or should it just go to stock but still heal 1? I don't know if that's too OP or not, but let me know what you guys think. So I believe that's everything I want to say for the green charm. So yeah, let's move on to the next one. Let us go to yellow. Again, 1000 power, 1 soul to all the characters when you actually play during the climax phase, right? That's it's a given, it's natural. So what this card triggers, right? You may choose one of your characters on the stage, return it to the hand, and put one of your opponent's characters from the stage to their waiting room. So is that too OP? I mean, you're both losing a character per se. One goes to the waiting room, your opponent goes to the waiting room after you bounce your own card back to the hand, so simultaneously. So there's pros and cons to both. So if you got to be careful not to send a character on the stage to the waiting room. If you send a character that has a waiting room effect, then you're just kind of helping your opponent, unless it's part of the strat for some reason. Which, I mean, sometimes that can happen, but there's that. But when you bounce a card at the same time too, well, if you choose to do the trigger, again, if it's optional or not, you could replay that card and then get its like drop effect. Like if it's a character that you pay 1 stock, you discard a card to salvage a character, for example, right? I mean, there's cards out there like that, or search a character, etc. Heal, whatever. You do have to pay the stock again, depending on the situation too, in the card, and the set, whatever. But you know what I mean? Or should it be the other way around? Should you sack a character and then bounce a character on the opponent's side of the stage back to his or her hand, or is it fine as it is, or is it again too OP? Because I mean, lightning or bolt is what I decided to call it. Is yellow, yeah, and yellow did get choice, which is a good trigger. But I feel like this kind of levels it out for yellow, because yellow is good right now. It has wind, it has shot, right? It has the 2 soul, obviously. And then if this would became a thing, it would have more. But I feel like this is a 50-50 with the trigger like this. Kind of like a standby in that regard, right? So on that, if it's too OP or not enough, or should the effect be the other way around? You know, you bounce a character said to sack their character, or should that just be like a choice? Either or, and then maybe if it's optional or not. So yeah, let me know on that. But I think this would be sort of good. Again, it's not too overpowered. I think you both will have open lanes, but yeah, I believe that's all I want to say for yellow. Next, let's move into red. So again, custom card. Red is very simple. I don't know what I would call it. I want to say burn, or flame, fireball, I guess. So again, the 1001 soul when played at the climax, on the climax phase, right? And then when it triggers, deal 1 damage to yourself and then deal 1 damage to your opponent. So you both get burned by 1. You both play with fire when you trigger this, right? Which I think is fair, because red does have standby. So this kind of again levels it out like yellow per se. Both things happen on both players' side of the board on the stage. Yeah, it'll be cancelled. So this could be good and bad. And again, I don't know if this should be a mandatory effect or optional. Because again, I'm going back to treasure or gold bar. I'm pretty sure when you trigger that, you have to do it. The only option is if you may top stock, blind stock the top card of your deck to the stock is the option. But the gold bar always goes to the end. So I'm wondering if we should do that with this, or leave it as is, or is the 1 damage to use out of the portal not enough, or should it burn once to you and twice to your opponent? But the catch is you can't cancel, but your opponent can. I mean, I feel like that'd be tipping the scale a little bit of being a little bit unbalanced, or maybe just this by itself so far is unbalanced. But again, I would love you guys' opinion on it. If it's enough or not enough, or help me out with that. So yeah, I believe that's all I wanted to say for red. So I think fire would be a good name for it, or burn, or a fireball, or something. Flame sounds simple. We go with that. So yeah, there's red. Finally, we have blue. Blue Climax, again, 1000 power, 1 soul. I don't know if I want to call this raindrop or water, aqua. When this card triggers, you may put the bottom card of your stock into your waiting. So basically, you know how some of those cards, those level 0s and maybe even level 1s or maybe even level 2s these days, I don't know. Weiss Schwarz is pretty much changing. They do the stock bomb effect with a stock kick, where the character, it's usually a level 0 character, where if it's level 0 or lower, it gets reversed. Put that character into stock and put the bottom card of the stock into the waiting room. So you're not essentially using up one stock, you're just clearing out the bottom card of the stock, and you're putting this into stock, this Climax into stock. So you're pretty much trading the bottom card and the top card, which is the Climax, going into stock. So it's kind of like a bag situation, but a better. If you remember what the bottom card of your stock was and you want it out, if it's a Climax, because let's be honest, that happens to at least once to all of us during a game, right? You just want that Climax, but your stock is full, but you don't want to pay it all the way out, and then you just want it out of there. But you got to rely on your opponent and hope your opponent forgets that was a Climax when they stock bomb you, right? So what if you could just do this technically on command, right? It'd be very helpful. And I think that for blue, it does need a trigger kind of like this, because all it has is pants, which people like pants, it's good. You salvage a Climax when it's triggered, right? Or book, which book is okay. You draw one card, but what if it's another Climax? But that's a different story, right? So back to drop or aqua or water trigger. I believe that type of trigger would be beneficial to some people, especially if you have good memory. So if you, again, the bottom card is a Climax, or just that level 3 or the level 2, a really good event is just clogged up in your stock at the very, very beginning of your stock, and you just do that and you set it to anything. You put this in your stock after you trigger it. I mean, I think that's fair. Like I said, blue kind of needs a little bit more of a buff, because again, book is meh, and everyone plays the pants over book, I say, based on what I see. And then that, of course, there's 2 soul, which I dig 2 soul for all the Climaxes is the bottom of the list, to be honest, because like every time you trigger 2 soul icon, you're overswinging. So that's another thing I want to go back to with all the Climaxes. That's why I didn't really put an extra soul icon on it, kind of with other Climaxes. So like Standby, for example, has a soul icon. So I feel like if I add a soul icon to any of these new Climax triggers, I feel like that'd be a little bit too much, especially the red one with the burn yourself, burn your opponent. If you decided to keep it that way, that'd be too much, because you basically be burning your opponent twice separate times. But it might stick. It damage might stick, and I feel like that's a little bit too overpowered, especially if it's not cancelable. But it is. So going back to aqua, drop, water, whatever you want to call it, I think we're good on that. So yeah, that's pretty much my ideas for that. I just thought of this one day, and I was like, green really needs better triggers. Green Climaxes really need better triggers. And again, I don't know if you guys noticed, for the examples that I did, the custom cards, yes, but it's also another idea, or down the road, if you guys do want to see something like that, a series that is Weiss Schwarz. What if that series was in Weiss Schwarz? What would be its gimmick? If you want to see videos like that, let me know. But I am going to at least do one. Again, it doesn't have to be the series you saw today. Down the road, just to test the waters. But if you guys want more, let me know. Yeah, this was something I thought of. I just hope Bushy Road gives the other Climaxes more support trigger wise. I mean, green definitely needs a new one, and then blue kind of needs a new one, but red and yellow are good right now, I believe. Even though if green and blue get new triggers, red would be the one with the less triggers. But maybe they can, I don't know, nerf or not nerf. Maybe. I mean, if they were to even all of them out, and give red an extra climax trigger, it has to be something like not simple but nerfed in a ways. That way, it can keep it as is. So if people want to play standby, go for standby. If you want to do it in the climax trigger, maybe the fire is a good one. Maybe they do something similar, but I don't know. I mean, this was kind of a fun idea. Was on my mind for a while, but yeah, I believe that's everything. I guess I'll see you guys if Flare is out. Peace out, and I'll see you. Bye.